Welcome back, Awakening Beauties. My name is Robin. If this is your first time joining me, I give you a very hearty welcome. I hope you will join my little growing community and subscribe. And if you like this video, then I hope you'll give it a like and maybe even share it with some friends and family if you feel like they could find value in what my channel is about. Well, this year, primarily, it has been a no-buy year for me. And we're rounding out the end. We're already into November, and it's almost over. And I'm not sure what I'm doing for next year exactly. I'm kind of playing around with some different ideas, but it will definitely be a low-buy year. I'm not going to say it's going to be a no-buy year, but it'll be a low-buy year. So as I have done for the first and second quarter of this year, I am giving the State of the Union address for the third quarter of 2023. And the numbers are quite interesting. I was up late last night crunching all the numbers and trying to see where I've spent more, where I've saved. And so if this is your first time joining my channel, I had sort of I don't want to call it a midlife crisis, but last year I found myself spending more money than I should be. And, sometimes we fall into those kind of habits, especially during the holidays. And it was around December of last year that I just was like, man, I need to do a no-buy year. I had not even heard of this until I came across a few YouTube channels that had started as no-buy years, and like Hannah Louise Poston. So I was inspired to document that journey. I have a playlist if you want to catch up and watch it from beginning until now. And let's just get started, because really it's great to do a no-buy year. I'm emotionally resetting my relationship to spending. I'm being more mindful when I do go to spend, even on things that are grocery items, really trying to be a little bit more mindful of how I'm spending all of my money. Even though my criteria or my parameters for my no-buy year was that I wasn't going to buy clothing, accessories, household goods that would be like decorating items, that I wasn't going to spend money on skincare or makeup unless I needed a replacement product. You'll see in these numbers that there were some expenses in clothing and accessories, just a slight amount. But the reason for that, and I've talked about this a million times, I have an Athleta Visa, and I will use that for a lot of my purchases throughout the month, even groceries. So I accumulate reward points, and I can use them at Gap, Old Navy, Athleta, and Banana Republic. So there are some things that I have bought throughout the year using those reward points, but the amount that it cost me was very minimal, because it usually is like they'll only do whole dollars. So if it was like $20.53, I have to pay the 53 cents. So you understand. Well, the news is pretty good. And I know the fourth quarter won't be as good of news as the third quarter, because we're getting into the holidays, and I'm thinking a lot about that. I'm going to make some videos about navigating the holidays, and maybe giving you guys, if you're trying to do a low buy, tips and tricks on how to maybe either save money or develop a different attitude, relationship, mental fortitude towards the holidays. I don't know. But let's get to the third quarter. I know, I feel like I've been rambling. Let's just get to the numbers, shall we? So these were the categories that I was in particular looking to save money in. First one was beauty and skincare. Last year, I just want to do a comparison of last year, third quarter, to this year, third quarter. So in that category, I spent 41.25% less. That was $741.48 last year, third quarter, and $435.65 this quarter. And so, that was a category I was starting to spend a lot more money in on the third quarter of last year, because I turned 50 last year. And I was like, oh man, I better up my game with my skincare routine. So I started spending a lot more money on skincare. I started watching a lot of influencers and, influencers who were over 50 and seeing what they were using and what they were promoting. And, really what I've come to find out is you can't always trust what these influencers who are making money. Either they have sponsored videos or affiliate links. You don't necessarily 100%. You want to believe that everybody is being honest, and maybe they are. And maybe some of those products just didn't work for me. Everybody's skin is different, and that's what is unique about each of us, that not everything is going to work for us. And so when I give recommendations on this channel, it's really, I always give the caveat, it's just me, my skin in particular, and will this work for you? I don't know. So anyways, I was happy to see that I had a 41% decrease in spending over the third quarter from previous year. Clothing and accessories. Now, there have been years and, times of the year where I've spent a lot more money on clothes and accessories than other years. And last year, third quarter, I had spent $195.06. And so this year I spent $4.83. And again, that was, that extra over whatever my rewards points were. So $4.80, under $5 on clothing for the third quarter. And so that is a 97.52% decrease in that category. Household, I'm not really sure what this is actually, and I didn't have a chance to look at what it is, because household is where I would put decorating, and I know I haven't done any decorating, so I put something in this category. I'll have to go back to my QuickBooks later and see what it was, but I did spend more on that category, which that was one that I was trying to spend less in. But, last year, third quarter, I'd only spent $18.18, and this year I spent almost like $81.99. So anyways, a little bit of an increase there. So there's other categories that I'm sort of monitoring the spending and seeing if I can save more money in the categories. They didn't particularly fall under my parameters, but one of those was education. And I did spend 27% more. And that was primarily because I was taking more improv classes this year. And so last year, things were just really opening up last year with theaters being back open and stuff. So if you don't know, I do improv comedy, and I have some of those performances on this channel, which you can watch if you're interested. But yeah, so I spent $415 versus $325. That also counts for my guitar lessons. So, which I haven't really been having a lot of guitar lessons in the third quarter of this year. So that would be primarily my improv classes. Another category I'm sort of monitoring to see if I can cut it down, and I did significantly, is entertainment. I had a 54% decrease in my entertainment expense. It was $414 last year, and it's $189, almost $190 this year. So the big expense this year, as we know, are groceries. And yeah, I mean, my grocery bill did go up in the third quarter, but considering the cost of groceries going up by some like 20-50% in some cases, some 100%, like the things that have doubled in price. So I feel pretty good about this slight increase of 11.88% in groceries. It was $3,200 last year, and it was almost $3,600 this year. So considering the cost of groceries and how they've gone up in this non-recession that we're in, they won't categorize it. I don't know. Either way, I feel like that's a pretty good number, and I'm happy with it. Some of the other things that I was monitoring of what I was spending money on are the health category, and that would be like vitamins, gym membership, trainer, So last year I had a personal trainer throughout the whole year, but I must have gone like a little bit of a time without getting trained last year, because I did hire a trainer this year. Actually, we started like right at the beginning of the third quarter. So that expense did go up by 423%, because I spent $680. As much as I love my trainer, I'm not going to be seeing her for the rest of the year, because we're getting into the holidays and I just can't have that expense anymore. But one thing that did go down, so it's almost like a wash. It's not quite a wash, but almost a wash. I had a gym membership last year to a very nice gym, very nice health club, and I haven't had that expense this year because I've been working out at the gym at my office building. So that I had 100% decrease, because it was almost $550 last year and $0 this year. So I kind of like shifted the money around, didn't really save anything, maybe spent a little bit more, but you know, that's how it goes. Vitamins, I did spend more on. I have a 27% increase, and I account that for probably like Athletic Greens is a pretty pricey subscription, but I've cut down on other vitamins. So anyways, it went from being $335.56 to $427.03. So anyways, a little bit of an increase there. But overall, third quarter spending, and this is what was very exciting to me, when you do your profit and loss, we actually had our net income went up by 139%, almost 140%. And so overall, with all of the spending and with, you know, my salary going up and you know, spending a little bit less on things, I had a net increase of income. So that was pretty exciting. There was some things, and I count this for probably that tax. Yeah, it was definitely that tax bill that I had last year, that I made a first payment on that, which was $7,800. So I had, actually, our net income was minus $8,000. I had to take that out of savings. So we showed a big loss in the third quarter. So I think what will be the most interesting will be the fourth quarter numbers, because I think that's going to be a more true representation of how I've spent less this year. And then it'll be interesting to do the whole year-to-date comparison. Now, I do have the year-to-date comparison for the first 3 quarters of this year versus the first 3 quarters of last year. So let's just quickly go through that, because quarter by quarter something can come up that you weren't expecting, and so it's kind of better to see like overall a year-to-date comparison. So let's take a look at that. Year-to-date comparison, yeah, I spent more in the beauty and skin care year to date. I've spent 33% more. I know what that is. That is the agency subscription that I have canceled. But they were sending me bottles when I just forgot to go online and like cancel the subscription or push it off longer. So that's a little pricey of a subscription of like $100 every couple of months. So yeah, I had a 33% increase in beauty and skincare overall, which, gosh, that's kind of disappointing actually, because in my no buy year, it's my parameter of only to purchase replacement items. But I know that I'm not buying makeup. I know that I'm not buying a lot of skincare compared to last year, but I'm going to have to break that down a little bit more. I didn't have a chance to sort of break it down and look at every single purchase that I've made, but I'm going to do that in QuickBooks later and take a look at that. So decorating, that's in the household aspect. It went down by 94% for the total year. I spent $470.24 for year to date last year, and only $24.99 this year. And I'm not exactly sure what that is. That could have been a candle or something. I'll have to take a look at that. Editing Robin here. It's the end of the day. I'm editing this video, and it was driving me crazy that $24.99 for household expenses. And I realized what it was. I went back and I found it. It was actually something ordered in December of 2022. In my last ditch spending, when I bought a bunch of things that I thought I might regret not having bought while I went into a no-buy year, there was a bunch of things that, even though they didn't bill until January, I actually ordered them in December. So I've gone back and changed those dates, even though they didn't bill until January and ship until January, because I want my numbers to reflect the truth. So I did not spend $24.99 on any household organizing or decorating things. So I just wanted it to be accurate. Anyways, it was driving me crazy. So I have to just insert that here. Clothing and accessories. Now that's the big one. That's one of the big ones too. Went down by 93%, 93.39% decrease. Last year I had spent almost $1,360 in that category, and this year I've spent $49.16. So the other categories that I mentioned that, it wasn't necessarily a no-buy year because you have to eat, dining, groceries. Dining has gone up a little bit, and I'm going to have to take a little bit of a look at that. Dining went up by 26% year over year. I spent about $1,500 last year, and I'm at about $1,900 this year. But again, prices have gone up at the restaurants as well because the cost of food has gone up. So they've had to raise their prices. So a 26% increase is actually doesn't mean that we're eating out more. It's just that the prices in the restaurants, and that's about accurate when you think about how that restaurants have raised their prices. So I would say that we've probably eaten out the same or less than we did last year, but the cost of the food has gone up. So, because we don't eat out that much. But year over year, our grocery bill has decreased by 15.59%. And I account that for the second quarter, which I had a very significant decrease in our grocery bill. So even though for the third quarter, our groceries went up by 11%, overall, we've spent 15% less, 15.59% less year over year. The total health, and again, that's like I said, the gym membership, massages, trainer, vitamins. And then I have like a health other where I don't know how to categorize things. But in that category, it's gone down by 20%, 20.84%. The vitamins have gone up, and the trainer went up a little bit. Massage went down, but my gym membership, because I canceled it after the first month of the year, my gym membership, yeah, that's the most, probably the biggest chunk of that money right there, and why the total health is down by 20.84%. Decorating, minus 94%, almost 95%. Some other things that went up, medical went up. We both have had some dermatology appointments this year. My husband had to have some dental work done. So even though we have insurance, we have had to be out of pocket because of the deductible. So we've spent more in that category, spent a little bit more on our pet, some of the procedures. She had to have a couple of surgeries. So we spent a little bit more there. But year to date, and again, this really accounts for that tax bill that we had last year. Year over year, our net income has increased by almost 180%. So that's good news. I mean, I feel like we're on a really good trajectory. I feel really good about where we are, and that, after we get through Christmas, and God, I know we've already spent money because I've been ordering things for some people and trying to get ahead of, not ordering everything in December. So I know that I've already done that, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what are your tips. I'm very curious. What are your tips for Christmas spending? Do you set a budget for each person? Do you set a budget overall? Do you decide beforehand that, the kinds of gifts that you're going to give? Like, I've seen some people who are minimalists talk about only giving, something that someone needs and a gift of something that someone wants. And then that's kind of it. They get like basically 2 gifts. I don't know. This is sort of new for me. I didn't grow up celebrating the holidays, so I'm trying to establish my own traditions and budgets and figuring that out. And since this is a no-buy year, I'm also trying to figure out like if it's right for me to give my husband a list of things that I want. I have given him a couple of ideas of things that I would want, but I don't want that to be like a way of cheating on my no-buy year. But on the other hand, he wants to buy me gifts. Just like he bought me that Natasha Denona palette for my birthday and those BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy brushes for my birthday. And I was blown away. I was so grateful. And I had to laugh when I was watching back my reaction because I was so excited, like a little kid at Christmas, because that's one of the benefits. And I will definitely make a video about all the benefits and the things that I've recognized having a no-buy year, that when I do get something like that, I am so much more excited. It meant so much more to me. It's like when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of toys compared to kids nowadays. So when I did get something, I really treasured it and I took care of it. And I would put away my Barbies and all of their outfits and all of their furniture. I had a particular system for how I would pack them away in my toy chest. And there was so much more honor and respect for my things than I see some kids nowadays, because we didn't have as many toys back then. That was back in the 70s. Yeah, and I found that now when I do get something, I tend to take better care. I'm more mindful of it. And I still feel like I have too many things. I'm not saying I'm going to go all out and be a minimalist, but I do see that when you do really pare down the things that you have and that you're using, that you're more mindful of each thing. You can keep track of each thing and where it's at and the condition it's in and where you've stored it, and things don't get lost and misplaced, or you have so much stuff that you just can't keep it all organized and everything is constantly getting disorganized. So, I have a lot of work to do in that regards, because there are areas of my house that have too much stuff, and it's hard to get rid of things because you think I might need that, or has a sentimental value and you don't want to get rid of it. And I'm still figuring that out. I will still continue to document that stuff on this channel, this journey that I'm on. And I know that many of you can relate to that, and you've been on your own journey of decluttering and trying to get back to the things that matter. I think if nothing else, the world shutting down and everything being closed and us being stuck at home made us realize the importance of our space and what we're surrounding ourselves with, and how important it is to love the things that you have, but also, to get rid of the things that are weighing us down. And having a lot of stuff can be very heavy. It can feel very heavy and energetically heavy, emotionally heavy. And some things are a reminder of past trauma, of past relationships. And sometimes we keep this stuff around and it's not doing us any favors. And so it's good to, when you notice that and when you can make that change and make that shift. Well, I thank you so much for watching. I don't know if this was interesting to you, but it just kind of shows where what you can do when you put your mind towards deciding you're going to do a no buy year, or maybe you're just like doing a no buy month, and to actually physically see the numbers. And I encourage you that if you do something like this, that you should track your expenses, and you can even do it through Excel. You don't have to have QuickBooks or anything like that. And there's others like free or very cheap software that you can use, accounting software where you can track your expenses. And so I really encourage you to do that, because when you see the numbers, you can't deny the numbers, right? It's like in black and white. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this, and keep following me on my journey. There's more to come. And until next time, you know, you're doing great.